Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. In an earlier video, I had talked about a knife that William Collins had sent me, a concept prototype knife that tried to combine some of the virtues of a kukri and some of the virtues of a Tom Brown tracker. And I have been using it now for about a month. I've used it quite a bit. In fact, I recently went on a little class with a good friend of mine named Roger, and I handed it to him and I said, here, you use it, because he has a different skill set than I do, and see how he would perform with it. Now, let's talk about the design for just a second. What it's trying to do, and I've showed you this knife before, is take the tracker design of this straight edge, this bulbous point, and then combine it with the idea of a kukri, which is a big heavy forward point, to form this knife. Now the way the knife sits in the hand is like that, with the tip downhill. So as you can see, you've got the big front on it, but at the same time it's designed to do the various things. Okay, sorry I had an interruption for a moment. I really like the knife, and I think William has done a really good job of capturing the good qualities of both. Now the nickname we've come up for this is the Beast, and it's like that. The nice long handle has got the curve to it, so it sits in the hand much like a kukri sits in the hand. And the handle has these swells at intervals so that you can chop really well with it. And the knife does pretty good as a chopper. No, it's never going to compare with a kukri, but it does naturally feel like a chopper. You can chop fairly regularly and fairly easily with it. Cuts well, it's got a good bevel, right angle. Now, you can choke up on it like that and just use the tip for fine work. We made a bow drill set with this the other day, and I processed several different things, carved a few little projects. I made a little sitting stool, and I use this as my one tool and that type deal. And it has proven to be a good idea. So, the one thing that I think I would change a little, and this is in no way a criticism of the knife, but if I was going to say this was mine and I was telling William to make it, you know how the tip is on a butcher knife? See this swept with this back edge? I believe I would want this tip right here to be a little more like a spade blade or a little more like a butcher knife. And I tell you why. I would want it very blunt right here on the back tip for skinning. I'd want to be able to push in and slide along and skin. As it is, this tip is too sharp. It would dig into the meat. And I would want it for a pierce and slide around to skin. With that, this curvature edge, much like the Tom Brown, will become a good skinner. So if I was going to make any changes to it, this tip right here I would change. I'd still want a point, but I would round it up a little bit more and blunt the back from, say, about 1/3 back from the actual tip. Also, this entire top flat right here I would round for putting my hand up there for using it as a draw knife, because this center section that he has relieved does make a good draw knife. It's actually a very good draw knife. And I was very impressed with its ability to plane. Since it's beveled only from one side, it does a very good job at planing or acting like a wood chisel. If I put the bevel down, it digs in. If I put the bevel coming up, it planes flat and allows me to take off long, thin sheets with it. But it does a good job. But I would, from this hump forward, I would round it, and I would change the tip just a little bit. I would, of course, leave this at a 90-degree spine, this saddle, because then it can be used as a scraping tool removing bark, for removing meat from hide, etc. And it'd be a good place to put a ferrocerium rod for striking. So that is my review, I guess you want to call it, of the William Collins Beast model tracker. I think you got an idea here, William. I really do. I think that with a little bit of refinement, I think it would be just awesome. I really do. Excuse me. The weakness I have with this is it doesn't have a real point. And the weakness I have with the kukri is it doesn't lend itself to detail carving easily. It's harder to choke up on it because of all this torque force. This beast does both of those better, and every knife is a compromise in some arena. But this seems to be taking the best virtues of the two knife designs and bringing them forward a little bit. Now, if I was going to ask for one of these, I think you've got it right, William. It's the right thickness, it's the right length, it's got the right balance. This curve does lend itself to the chopping and etc. It will baton. I'm not a batoner, but my friend Roger is, and he used it to baton some firewood up real quick. It does a good job batoning. And I think that with a little refinement of this design, it'd be awesome. This is a really good knife. But with the tip around this, it'd be even better, in my humble opinion. I hope this gives you some ideas. Once again, thank you, William, for letting me, play with this design. I'll put a link at the end of this to William's knives if you want to go look at some of his stuff. He builds custom knives, so if there's something you want, talk to him. He's a really, really knowledgeable and a good fella. It makes a very good knife. And the sheath this thing comes with, good God. I told William, made him laugh, I said, I need to be about 8 inches taller and about 200 pounds heavier to tote this thing. This is a beast. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.